Hey, what's going on, folks? This is Steve. This is race day. And hey, we're not wasting any time right now. Gonna go green right here for the Harpoon Design 240 Chicagoland. And we are green. Here we go. Already 1 and 2 wide already. We're seeing here Chicagoland. Good stuff so far. Diving in, Joseph Mealy. Look at this. Your pole sitter up front and looking good. Comes across the stripe and already lap 1 underway. All throughout this field looking pretty good so far. Again, huge crowd. Love to see 39 drivers today trying to get this win. Also, cannot forget, this is the first race of the same state showdown. We'll talk more about that a little later on, but right now, look at this. A lot of guys. Joseph Mealy, John Hagan, last week's winner, has the North Carolina Tar Heels paint. Looking pretty good right there in the 81. Looking to go back-to-back here today. Frankie Broso looking pretty good. Devin Smecker as well. Lots of very good drivers here. A couple of notables real quick too. Brandon Six today out of the race. Not in the race right now. Couldn't make it. Obviously has something else going on. But Kevin King, look at that. You'll know him from the Coke Series. Kevin King currently in that subbing in for Brandon Six right there. Looking pretty good. So glad to have him on track today. Always cool to have that. As always, getting to stage 1. Lap 5 already in the books right now. Joseph Mealy, Nick Lights, looking pretty good so far. Love that. Murphy Esports definitely brought some horsepower today. John Hagan, Christian Angel though, look at this. P4 right now. Extremely good car. Looking very, very quick. Throughout the field though. Really, really good looking today. Matthew Pont. Interesting paint scheme today. The Wawa machine, look at that. Scott Casorn looking pretty good down low right there. This is one of those tracks too. These 1.5s. You can cut that low line on the oval, the front stretch. Nick Lights making a move here against his teammate for the lead. And there he goes. So Nick Lights to the point. And John Hagan right there as well in P2. So a couple of guys looking pretty quick today. A couple of spots changing hands now. Daryl Young up to P15. Looking pretty fast right there. Andrew Phipps not too far ahead of him in P14. This is one of those tracks too. I think people are going to like this place a lot. The backstretch, if you're not familiar, John Hagan now says, nah, you know what? I'm going for that stage win. Pulls out in front of Nick Lights, and there he is. Looking pretty good. This place is pretty unique. We'll ride on board real quick. Joseph Mealy, your pole sitter. And you'll be able to really kind of figure out this track. Look at this backstretch. It's curved. It's very, very cool. That Hosky hot lap. Look at this. Coming down into turn 3. Kind of a nice sweeping entry into turn 3. The thing, too, is you can really use the outside lane here. I don't think we're going to see a lot right now, per se, but this place can really open up. You see the teammate there. Devin Smecker going down low. But I expect to see a lot of these guys using the upper side of that wall, probably towards the nighttime of this race. This is a sunset race. We're going to get nighttime conditions at some point, about halfway through, I would say. And right now, though, man, Mealy, Smucker, Lights, Murphy Esports came today with a mission, and looking pretty good so far. Good stuff for Mealy. Throughout the field, though, Kevin Kane looking to move around the outside here of Millerin. Looking pretty quick right here, as well as Fleming, actually. Fleming having a quietly very, very good season. Talked about this last week where, you know, Fleming is one of those guys that, you know, his season might not be the flashiest, right? But he just gets the job done. And right now, doing just that. Right now, P10, looking great. A little further back, a couple of notables here. Brandon Bowie back here in 36th spot. Dohar right here as well in 37th. A couple of more guys, Meeks and Dunkelberger as well. So, Jacob Emery, Stubblefield, Jackson Anderson, your Daytona winner right now, back in 31st spot. So, a couple of these guys, not sure if they didn't decide to qualify or wanted to stay in the back, maybe for a challenge, but couldn't quite tell. But hey, it's a long race. Mark Whitley as well, 28th spot, and we know how fast he is. Look at this, though, on the outside lane, getting around Gasorn, who's pretty slow right now in that 30th spot. Not sure if he's struggling at some point or what, but these guys kind of back here. Yeah, look at this. I mean, Whitley, Bates, Max Brady, these boys are quick. They're back here, so. But hey, sometimes that speaks to the caliber of racing here in this league, right? It's tough. Qualifying and the setup, maybe. All kinds of things. Some insider knowledge. Okay, Brantley, in the chat. Jackson and Mark hitting the wall in qualifying. Good to know. Which is tough, because here's the thing. You only get one lap, right? Qualifying, it's one lap and that's it. So, you hit the wall or even just tap it. It unfortunately does not count it as a true lap. So, that can happen. I do apologize, folks, for missing qualifying and whatnot. Had a bit of a family matter. I laugh because it's I don't know. You kind of I don't know. I'm not going to get into it, but a bit of an issue before the race. But either way, hey, we made it. We're here. Joseph Mealy is your pole sitter, and we're gonna do this thing right. Christian Angel really tight up against Nick Lights right there. I believe that is. Yes, it is. Smecker as well, going to try and sneak down low too. So far, though, making it work. 3 wide. Yeah, Smecker looking pretty strong right here. John Hagen up front still has the lead. But man, P2 is really looking pretty good right now. Up front. The lap 18, so this is going pretty well, I will say. Stage 1 will end on lap 25. So we're about that 7 laps away now from the end of stage 1. So far, looking pretty good. Frankie Brosso trying to make a move here. He's right now P4, and we're starting to see a couple of guys using the outside line. Michael Johnson here might get a run on Frankie on the outside. So far, it looks like he does. There he goes. Goes down low right here. Man, really strong effort right here from John Hagen after last week's huge win in Motegi. Got the job done. Right now looking to get stage 1 out of the way here in 5 laps. A lot of these guys really looking pretty good. Single file for the most part throughout the field. A couple of guys here at double file. Jesse Nakula looking to make a move here. This is for about 21st spot right here, but these won't pay the stage points, but these might matter. These positions might matter to get yourself into a better rhythm for that second stage. Marshall Harris rolling off right here in 23rd spot. A couple of more guys. Mark Whitley really getting to the front too, as well as Max Brady. I expect a lot of these guys to make their way to the front as the session goes on. Kevin King holding on to a P9 right now so far. Thomas George as well. Again, another guy who I think can really win a race this season. Long way to go. So far, good stuff. John Hagan up front on lap 22. Hold on now. Joseph Mealy. He might have found something here. That long run pace. Gonna try and sneak it in here for that stage win, lap 23. Ooh, little contact right here. Keep in mind, we throw that yellow out at the beginning of lap 25 for the stage. So really, this is about a lap and a half to go here. Millie gonna shove it in. Bounces off the 81 just a little bit. Millie has to make it stick here on the inside lane. 1 lap to go though for the stage. Still right there, side by side. If he can hold on to this, this might be a drag strip or a drag race to the front. And look at how close this is. Door banging left and right. Who can get it off right here for the stage? Door banging. Looks like John Hagan is going to get it by just a little bit. Yes, he is. There he is. John Hagan. Man, late surge there by Mealy, but John Hagan gonna be the stage winner. Fantastic job, bit to hold off Mealy. Man, he really came back right there quite a bit. That was impressive. So Mealy, I think, might have found something here for the long run speed. We'll definitely see how that plays out as the race goes on. But Hagan looking very, very fast today yet again. Good stuff. Stage 1's over. Just like that, folks. 25 laps. Caution free so far. We love to see that. So good stuff. We'll step aside real quick, folks. Thank some sponsors, and we'll come right back.
Fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Doggy bowl empty, Lakers pool sleeping, rug pull, cash grab, NFTs delight, rug pull, cash grab, idiot.
Alrighty, welcome back, folks. This is the Harpoon Design 240 here at Chicagoland. And already, we are ready to go back racing right now. Didn't have enough time to go and talk to John Hagen. They pit, then they came right back out. So, all good. We'll get to him next time once we get a caution and whatnot. We'll talk to your Stage 1 winner. But so far, looking pretty good. Lap 28 right now out of 160. Stage 1 is over. Going to get Stage 2 underway right now. This is going to end at lap 75. So we'll see a lot more racing here. A lot of stuff going on. And so far, a great race, I will say. A lot of these guys, man, almost 40 of them doing their thing. We love to see a big crowd. I am noticing, folks, real quick, I believe some more frame drop, which is weird because it's telling me 60 FPS, but I think it looks like we're dropping frames a little bit. So do apologize for that. If it gets worse, I might restart the stream at some point, but we will be good to go. Couldn't quite tune it in pre-race with some the issues that I was having before, but all good. Green flag, Stage 2, just like that. Uh-oh, Dylan Bates, way off track right there. And wrangled it back in. Now we're 4 wide here. Just like this, these restarts are getting pretty crazy. The initial restart, Mark Whitley and Jackson Anderson looks like they were kind of side by side here. This is the part where it gets pretty wild. A lot of these guys going to try and go for moves on the restarts that might not be there, right? You can be faster, but still got cars in front of you. And this is the hard part, is getting in front of all of these guys right here. John Hagen up front, though. That restart, or the leader, will always get a great restart there. And man, look at this shot. Everybody, Murphy Esports, all in that top 5. Kevin King, not too far back either. Frankie Broser going to really try and push his teammate. Looking pretty solid so far on lap 31. Really good stuff so far right now. Seeing all these guys really settling in pretty quick after these. Oh, hold on. Oh, some big smoke right there. Kenny Real looks like. David Medina, I believe that is. It is. Don't really see any damage on these cars. Not sure what happened, but man, they're good. We're staying green right now. No yellow. Didn't look like heavy contact, but we're staying green. Lap 32. Only 2 cars involved right there, so no yellow it is. Right now for P10, this is trying to get into that top 10 spot. Christian Angel, man, fighting for that top 4 at one point earlier in Stage 1, but right now looking pretty decent. A couple of guys here. Austin Salyers, Max Brady fighting for it. Everyone out front so far looking pretty good. Again, John Hagen really starting to kind of just take away this win so far. But Kevin King looking low right now up against Nick Lights. Looking pretty strong right there. Frankie right behind him. Andrew Phipps, though, a couple of these guys behind. Look at this. Dives down low here. Really impressive stuff, nonetheless. A couple of guys, too, I haven't talked about just yet in the race. Blaze Crawford, kind of right in the middle of this mess right here. Now we're going to go 3 wide here in just a second. And these guys that earlier had beef last week in Motegi, I believe it was Thomas George, Christian Angel right there as well. Curious to see if these guys have any further comments after everything that went down there, but so far we're looking pretty good. Millerton right now as well up front in P5. Man, looking pretty good so far. Quick update on a couple of guys in the back. We saw Kenny Real and David Medina get involved in that wreck a little earlier. Right now, though, looking pretty good. Still up front. Or not up front, but still, you know, moving forward, I guess. So looking pretty good on their end. A couple of more guys in the back here. Dohar, Emery, Brandon Bowie right now. Big notable here, right here in 29th spot. So a lot of these guys in the back trying to figure out how to get themselves to the front. Villalobos here as well. A couple of more guys fighting to get to the front. Sobel. Oh, Kaufman right there as well. Little door bang. Tim Robin, 19th. I expect him to get to the front, though, because these guys are pretty quick. I will say, Tim Robb especially this season has had a great beginning. As I just saw, I believe Gregory Robinson hit the wall, but not too hard. Looking pretty solid. Up front, though, these guys are not calming down by any means on lap 40. 75 is where we're going to for stage 2. A long way to still go in this race. Frankie trying to bide his time, it looks like. In a couple of these guys too, right? I mean, we're seeing Kevin King and, you know, Frankie Broso, and even actually now we're seeing Anderson right here back in P11. Mark Whitley not too far back either. So a couple of these guys who were in the back, you know, they're starting to figure it out, which is good. It's going to take them obviously a stage to kind of get to the front, maybe a stage and a half, but be curious to see how this race changes, you know, once we see people like Mark Whitley and, you know, Frankie maybe even kind of, you know, peek forward. Even Kevin King, you know, I think these guys, right, they've been around now long enough to know, you know, especially for stage 2, right? It's only lap 42. These guys have to pit in this stage for fuel at a minimum. And that's the question too, right? Do you take tires? Do you not take tires? I think, you know, in a race like this, where so far it's kind of trending green, I don't know that you know, save a set of tires. I don't think you know, you'll need them necessarily for the end of this race, but you just never know. As right now we're seeing John Hagan up in the front all by himself. Joseph Mealy in P2. A lot of these guys here really fighting for it. Blaze Crawford getting to the front here as well. Max Brady not too far back. The stage 1, we didn't really see a lot of these guys, either due to some, you know, qualifying issues or, you know, things like that. But man, right now we're starting to see the cream rise to the top. Already on lap 44. Good stuff. Overall, though, Very impressive. Brandon Bowie up to P27 right now. Just was back much further a second ago, but a couple of guys. Emery right here. Holding on to it back in 29th spot. A couple of more. I wanted to notate a few. Yeah, Thomas Meeks right here, 33rd. Daryl Young, 34th spot. These guys, Stubblefield also P35, but I don't see any damage on these cars, so I think they're just, you know, kind of back here. Not sure if they are kind of... Here's the thing. I think in stage 2 with these races, I'm kind of noticing is that stage 2 is kind of that time frame where you might sacrifice stage 2 to try and get yourself, you know, some spots in the back, right? Or some spots in stage 3, you know. So stage 2, you know, you get a pit for fuel, but tires are kind of optional, right? If you don't want to use up a set. So I think a lot of these guys, what they'll do is they'll kind of lay low in stage 2, right? Save that set of tires. That way they get the extra set for stage 3 if they need it, right? So green flag, pit stops, and then maybe one more if a late race caution comes out or things like that, right? So not surprised to see if guys are going to try and do that, but either way, we're seeing some fantastic racing, I will say. 2 and 3 wide at times. Man, really good stuff so far. Max Brady going to make a move here down low. This is going to be for top 4 if he can get around Millerin, who Millerin, by the way, having a great race in the number 10 right there. Millerin trying to kind of juke him around. Not sure what's going on with that, but here comes Anderson, the teammate of Max Brady. Going to give him that necessary push. Millerin gives him a little shove right there, so got to maybe tone down that that aggression. Whitley does the same thing. Woo. Whitley going to try and be aggressive here. Goes down low. Okay, I thought for a second he was going to go and shoot the gap between Smecker and Millerin, but these guys are not playing around right now. Trying to get to the front. 50 laps into this race already. It's a great job. This is the battle right now we're going to watch because these guys are just fighting for it, tooth and nail. My word. Oh, Smecker really had an issue right here. What's going on? Oh, he's coming down pit road. Early pit stop. Uh-oh, Smecker spins it coming down into the pits. His teammate has to avoid him, Nick Lights. Smecker, though, does a great job by not going into the grass or getting a penalty from that. I don't believe he will, but early pit stop for those boys. Interesting call. We'll see how that plays out. Again, they have to pit, right? This stage. They know they do, and here we go. A lot more guys. They're forced to come down, too. Mark Whitley. That looks pretty quick. I'm not sure if he got a speeding penalty, but Sobel as well, I think, might have just spun as well. Lordy. A lot of guys making this work. Kevin King right here on the inside of Millerin. Looking pretty sharp. A lot of these guys. Matthew Fleming comes down pit road. So now we're starting to see Flagship making their moves. Villalobos as well. So far, what a good race. Max Brady, just saw him come a little bit. Everyone rejoining, and the undercut here, honestly, it might not be the huge, but we know the fuel temps, or not temps, but the fuel length is about 31 laps. So we can expect that for the most part. We're seeing Gregory Robinson comes down pit road now too. Hagen up front. Kevin King about 4 seconds back right now. But these guys, keep in mind, before the pit stops started, they were really fighting for it. So that first car of John Hagen, man, he has that track position in the clean air and just ran with it. Right now we're seeing nobody else really coming down pit road. So we saw maybe about 15, 20 cars, maybe half the field come down this past couple of laps, but now we're seeing kind of a lapse in that. So interesting call here. Oh, yellow flag. What happened here? Gregory Robinson. Oh, here we go. Oh, man. Looks like Robinson, maybe just based on where he is position-wise, he might have spun out coming off, coming back onto the track after his pit stop. We'll take a look. Either way, our first caution of the day. Let's take a little look here. Greg Robinson comes off pit road. I'm going to guess this is definitely one of those cases where, you know, you come off pit road and you just kind of loop it around. We saw Smecker and I believe Sobel, it was, or maybe Robinson here, got loose and spun on the pit entry. Yes, he hits the apron right there and just goes around. And I'll tell you what, actually a lot easier to do than you think it is. Especially under race conditions, you know, everyone's trying to just go for it, make something happen, and that'll do it. But here we go. That opens up the gates here for a lot of these guys to come down pit road. Broso, Hagan, Kevin King, all leading us off here. A lot of these guys, though, pitting. We'll see how this shakes up here in just a second. A lot of those guys who just pit, that might not be the best news for them. That caution flag. But we will see. Lap 56. About 20 laps to go here, just about. 19 really, until stage 2 ends. So this right here, this caution will definitely favor, I'm assuming, the guys who stayed out for sure. So we'll see how this works. Either way, the fuel will not be a concern for the remainder of stage 2. But tires, do they take tires? I don't know. We'll see. Frankie Broso, though, going to be leading the race as we go green here. So we'll step aside real quick, folks. We'll thank some sponsors. We'll come back for the restart. Alrighty, welcome back, folks, to the Harpoon Design 240 here in Chicagoland. Man, right now having a great race so far. Working our first caution for incident right now on lap 57. Spin out from Gregory Robinson coming off pit road. And that can happen. We've kind of seen, not to make fun of Greg, but like we've seen really every race so far this season, kind of that one caution that's like, come on, guys. You know, like it could have been easily avoidable, right? You know, whether it be a spin out off of pit road or on pit road, or you know, things like that. But it's tough, and that's kind of the funny thing about green flag racing is that like those things can happen. You know, people don't necessarily practice, you know, pit entry or pit exit as much as maybe they should. You know, but you know, either way, mistakes can still happen. But it's just one of those funny things. Either way, racing wise, it's been great. Aggressive, obviously, but pretty well green so far besides that. So clean stage 1. Right now, though, we're going to get back racing. Barroso and Hagan up front, and this is going to be interesting. If Frankie can clear Hagan here, you know, and kind of get that clean air, what does that do for him? You know, can he, you know, get that lead like we saw Hagan get? About to find out right now. Lap 58 going to work lap 59. About 14 laps to go here for stage 2. Here we go, back green. Kevin King here going to be pushing his teammate a little bit, and there we go. Is Frankie going to clear John Hagan here? So we're going to see how that works out. But the back of the field, a lot of these guys are still fighting for it quite a bit. A couple of guys took a dice roll right here. Tim Robb, Josh Larson up in the front. Marshall Harris P12 right here. So bunch of guys right here that looking pretty sharp right now, I will say. Oh, Marshall got a little bit up into that 54. Not sure if Marshall got tight there, but you've got to be careful. Kevin King making a move here for P2 up against John Hagan. Couldn't quite get it. The outside line really has that momentum. They're trying to make that work right there, but look at this here for top 5. Kevin King, some tire smoke out of that car. Not sure if he got a little loose on entry, or maybe some brake dust there kicking up. Got the brake bias set too high. Not sure, but some wheel lock. A couple of more guys. Scott Gasorn gets drifted up right here. Going to get passed by Blaze. Got to be careful not to overdrive that exit. Looks like that might have been the case there for a couple of guys, but good stuff. And you can start to see it. Like, look at Weist right here on the high line. I really think we're going to start to see that kick in as the night goes. Obviously, right now we're in sunset conditions here pretty soon. Here comes Pont right here in the middle. Larson going to be on the high line. A lot of guys looking pretty sharp right here. Joseph Mealy, your pole sitter, kind of mired back in about 22nd spot. He's got, man, cars all over the place here in front of him. Scott Gasorn, Kaufman. A couple of guys bouncing off each other. You've got to be careful here for sure, but looking pretty good. Mark Whitley, once again, kind of back here in 25th. I'm not sure if he chose to not take tires or take tires, but same thing here with Nick Lights. Back here as well. Let's ride on board, actually, Nick Lights, if we can. Here he is. Kind of get a glimpse of what it's like to be in the middle, mid-pack right here. We'll go Hosky Hot Lap like we like to do. Kind of get a nice look at that sunset, too. Definitely starting to go down. And visibility, okay, yeah, right there quite a bit. Definitely going to be affecting those drivers, so that sun should be going down at about the halfway point. A couple laps from now, maybe lap 80 or 90. And then everything past lap 100 should be about nighttime. So, but man, right now you can really see Nick holding kind of a smooth wheel, which is nice. So it doesn't seem like he's loose, obviously. Seems like that car is rotating quite well. And there's that sun. But fighting for every spot he can right now. Looking pretty impressive here for Nick Lights. So good stuff on lap 66. But again, we are counting it down to stage 2, which will happen in about 9 laps from now. Good stuff. Frankie Barroso still up front, but his teammate, for the day at least, Kevin King, again, subbing in for Brandon 6. Right now looking pretty good. Trying to track down that #1 spot. He might just get there. Jesse Necula, P4. This is a great run for him right now. Man, this is one of those things too, right? If you can just get to the front sometimes, you can really make it work. And Necula's doing a great job holding on to his ride right now. And that number 51 looking very, very strong. Trying to get around John Hagan right now as well. So a couple of guys looking really good. Bowie Esports drivers, look at this. Michael Johnson, Phipps, and George. All looking good. Kevin King and Barroso up front too. So good stuff. That lead might be changing hands here in just a second. Look at this. Kevin King down low. And Frankie not going to put up much of a fight right here. Not sure if that's just his way of saying, you know what? Yeah, go for it. Frankie doesn't want to burn his tires up maybe, but either way, great job here. Kevin King to the front. A couple of guys blinking right here. A big moment there where I think it was Kevin King and Frankie were both. Oh yeah, here's Frankie right here. Yeah, Frankie was blinking quite a bit right there. Looks like he is back. Jesse Necula also all of a sudden has some big damage. Not sure what's going on here, but man, crazy stuff. The server might have just taken a bit of a bit of a nosedive here. We'll try and see if we can figure this out, but it shows Necula as being in P1 without a front bumper, so we'll see if that autocorrects here in just a second, but sometimes that can do it. Right now, though, look at this guy's battles right here. Rob and Blaze Crawford trying to figure it out here for the top 10. Man, solid efforts, though, for all these guys. Kenny Reel, Joseph Mealy, all back here, still trying to make it work. Oh, Nick, there it is. Necula has the front end back on the car. So, hey, sometimes iRacing can throw us off. Looks like we are good, though. Sorry for that little server bobble or whatever you want to call that. But Necula is up front. Looks like those tires definitely paid off. And this is the thing, too, right? Sometimes these guys in Stage 2, they can decide to, you know what? I'm going to take tires. It might not work out for me later on in the, in Stage 3, for example, right? You're going to have one less. But Necula says, you know what? Nope. I want to win Stage 2. And here he is. Looking very, very good to try and do that. Kevin King. All these guys really making it work quite well. Thomas Meeks going a lap down right here to the leaders. Should be the lucky dog this next time by, which is fantastic. But right here, Jesse Necula going to steal Stage 2 here with the tire strat. And there he is. Necula going to be your Stage 2 winner. Good stuff there for Necula. Really impressive job for that 51. We'll see how that affects him later on in the race. But hey, this matters, right? Sometimes those points matter to get into the playoffs. All kinds of things. If you're not necessarily, the kind of guy who can maybe win a race, hey, pulling off things like this to get yourself a couple extra points. I love the move. Good stuff there for Necula. Rounding out that top 5, Kevin King, Frankie Barroso, Michael Johnson, John Hagan, and Jacob Emery in P6. Lordy, look at him. Looking good. Phipps, Crawford, George, and Tim Robb are going to round out the top 10 for those stage points. So solid job for those boys. We're going to step aside for a second, folks. We'll go and thank our sponsors. We'll come right back for the beginning of Stage 3. All right, folks, welcome back to the Harpoon Design 240 here in Chicagoland. A couple of more guys coming down pit road. Larson, Bowie, Smecker. Looks like Anderson maybe topping off on fuel here. We'll see, but some good stuff. Jesse Nekula was your stage winner. Let's see if we can dial up Jesse Nekula real quick. Let us see. Where is Jesse Nekula? Let's try and steal him real fast if we can. Here he is. There he is, Jesse Nekula, man. Hey, look at that. Looking pretty good right there. Got the stage win. Looks like on some tire strap, man. So looking pretty fast. How'd you do it? Was it the tires?
Yeah, that first stage, I just took fuel and then I tried to run it out. We got that yellow, so I figured now was the time for some tires, and it worked out and came home with that stage win.
Hey, love that, man. Hey, it's not a bad move, right? 10 points. You get the playoff point there as well. So good stuff, dude. How's the track feeling so far? I mean, is it you know, do you expect the Highline to kind of come in here? How's it feeling?
I want the Highline to come in. I feel better up there, but I don't know. I'm struggling trying to hold my own up there, and then now I'm up here with these fast guys. So I'm sure I'll move back a little bit because I'm gonna try to save a little bit of tires here just in case I need them. But we'll see how it goes.
Hey, so far so good, man. Really impressive stuff. We'll see you at the end, hopefully, man. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, really impressive there for Jesse Nekula getting that stage win. And that's kind of the nice thing, too, about, you know, the strategy, but also, you know, like that the placement of that yellow flag, you know, where Robinson spun out coming off pit road. So, I mean, those things can happen, right? They can open up opportunities. And we've seen things like that really this season to kind of create atmospheres where people can win. I mean, look at last week with, you know, John Hagen winning. Obviously, he was fast, but you know, a couple of things opened up. Devin Smacker back in Kansas, you know, yellow flag kind of changed his race. So a lot of these things can change right here. We're going to see Kevin King up front, though, in that P1 spot, looking to get himself situated. I think a lot of these guys needed to take stage one and kind of figure out the setup, kind of figure out some minor tweaks. But now I think we're going to see these guys really kind of get to the front. We're going to go green here on lap 80. Halfway point of the race. Here we go. Long race still to go. Kevin King, Nekula up front. Green flag is out. Really impressive stuff so far in this race. Lap 80. I expect the temperature to kind of kick up a little bit. Typically we see the stage. Oh my Lord, Mark Whitley with a crazy move right there. Look at that. That was ballsy, but that was a great move there by Whitley. Very impressive move right there. Right now though, Kevin King gonna take the lead. Frankie Barroso, John Hagen going to try and get to the front here as well. Hagen's going to be desperate to get that front spot. Hagen knows how much that clean air matters and steals the lead away. Good stuff from Hagen. But again, got to be careful of those tires. This stage is long, 80 laps. We will see. Bunch of these guys here. Again, they had that Strat up front. Emery, though, the Cheddar Goblin on the front of that car. Man, I love this is so funny. This paint scheme. A couple of guys getting checked up. Oh, Lordy. Back at the field. I believe that was Millerin and Kaufman, I think it was. Really got checked up right there. I think they door banged each other. But they kept it going. Good stuff. I'll tell you what, the middle of the pack, folks, it's just an absolute medley of mayhem. And this is getting pretty wild right here. The nice thing though about stage 3 is that, I mean, typically it's designed in a way where it's, you know, more than half the race sometimes, if not half the race. And these guys really just kind of have to settle in. You know, there's urgency on the restarts because restarts are typically the best time to pass, right? But got to get it done. And Blaze Crawford's doing just that. Look at this P1 for Crawford. Not wasting any time for Crawford here. Gets to the front. And that's part of the strategy, right? Hey, get to the front and then save your stuff. Oh, man, Phipps right in the middle there. Tight right here. But these guys are working together well. I mean, I'm seeing some door banging kind of here and there, but I'm not really seeing some guys, you know, get tight on entry and washing up as much as maybe I've seen, you know, in the last couple of races. Dylan Bates right here. Millie might have thought to go 4 wide there for a second, but looks like thinks against it. But they can really run 3. I mean, we're talking 3 wide, 3 distinct lanes here that are all working quite well, and they're able to hold their own. I mean, look at this. Mealy comfortably in the middle of the pack right there of that 3 wide. Yeah, really impressive stuff that these guys have the ability to kind of do that. And we're going to see a couple of guys fall. Look, I mean, Kevin King right now in P8, but we know he's saving tires. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Max Brady potentially too. You know, Frankie Barroso, Mark Whitley, right? These guys, you know, kind of just keep yourself in that top 5. See what happens. Man, Whitley just power move there on the outside line. He's not wasting any time. Frankie's kind of falling off too a little bit. And now Whitley on the outside line. Hagen, oh boy. What you gonna do here, man? Sometimes you're just like, is he gonna do it? Is he not gonna do it? But it just looks like, you know, this setup, and again, huge thanks to Premier Setup Shop for supporting us, as well as providing us in the league with these great setups. I mean, man, 3 wide with 40 drivers on the field, and making it work. I mean, these guys are obviously comfortable enough to do it and to feel confident enough to do it. As you can see right here, 3 wide, looking pretty good. Uh-oh, Austin Salyers, way off. Just about to say 3 wide comfortably, but hey, once in a while, that sometimes might not always work out. At the end of the day, aggression can play a role into that. But here we go. Austin Salyers spins out right here. Actually came across the nose. I believe it was, well, you know what? We'll go back. I can't quite tell you who it was, but honestly, no harm, no foul. Left to rear might have some damage, but not a whole lot. Yeah, I mean, you can see it. Not, I mean, barely anything. So we'll take a look once more. But, I mean, man, 3 wide sometimes, it's just not going to work, you know. Even if the setup works and it's nice and comfy and, you know, things like that. A lot of things can change that, but take a look real quick as we do. So Austin Salyers here might be a little bit far back, but we'll play it out for you. So we're going to go 3 wide here. Michael Johnson down low, and he's got Necula up there. Actually, it looks like maybe might have came across here. Try and get a better angle. Yeah, okay, so yeah, Necula comes down, looks like. And man, yeah, he just kind of barely touches the front end of Michael Johnson there. I believe Johnson and Necula were fine. But yeah, just came across the nose. No major damage on anyone's car, really. So honestly, not too bad. Obviously, Salyer's going to lose that track position, but could have been a lot worse with some major damage. But looking pretty good so far. So second caution of the night. And not too bad. Both cautions that we've had have been, you know, kind of minimal, I guess, in nature. Not you know, big damage or big issues. So good to see. Either way, though, lap 91. Right now, our second caution. It says it's our fourth caution, but we've had 2 for stages, obviously. So no problem there. Big shout out, by the way, to Matthew Kent. Matthew Kent is our race control for today and for the future. Man, he knows what he's doing. So it's good to see that. It's good to be able to be up in the booth and trust the person that you've got, down there on the track. Sounds like he's doing a damn good job. So appreciate Matthew. But yeah, right now looking pretty solid. The race is going pretty well. 2 cautions with 40 drivers. You can't beat it, I will say. That's a good time. And I think a lot of these guys are kind of getting to the front. We're going to see some strategy, right? But a couple of more guys here coming down pit road. Tyler Dohar, which, man, Dohar is one of those guys where, I know how fast he is, right? Crazy fast guy. But this season so far, just kind of struggling. I'm not sure if it's just, but the struggling isn't from wrecks or from, bad luck or things like that. It's just from kind of just not performing. So, I'm kind of waiting to see, the Tyler Dohar breakout, because, once he kind of figures it out, I think it's going to be pretty good stuff, because he's a guy capable of winning for sure. Just a matter of, making it happen. So, I think he'll be good. Larson as well, kind of the same thing, right? Has had a great season so far. Last season was pretty rough for him as far as, how it started, but really impressive thus far. Also repping the race day colors, so we always appreciate that. Good stuff. Everyone through the field, though, looking pretty strong. Bunch of guys here. This is the choose rule at the start-finish line. We're going to let them do that real quick. If you're unfamiliar with that, basically how the choose rule works is, hey, they just choose down low for the inside lane or up high for the outside lane at the start-finish line. So far, so good. So John Hagan, Frankie Barroso are going to be the leaders here at the restart. We're going to see Tim Robb here as well in 3rd spot. I'll tell you what, another guy who I think is kind of on the cusp of breaking through is Tim Robb. He has had a great season so far, and looking very, very good. Rob has struggled at times, I will say, with cautions and things like that, but overall, race finish wise, he just gets the job done. So I've got a feeling at some point we might see Tim Robb win a race. He has what it takes, just has to kind of put it all together, Here we go, lap 93, going to go back green here on lap 94. Sunset is going down quite a bit. Nighttime approaching us. Here we go, Hagan and Frankie Barroso up front. Good stuff so far. Big battle right here in the middle of the pack. Christian doing his thing. Marshall Harris right in the middle of the pack here, 19th spot. Holding on for dear life. 3 wide. You gotta be careful. It's tough to kind of navigate that, to know when you're 3 wide. A lot of these guys use, Crew Chief or some kind of third-party app to let them know for spotting, but it can be difficult, especially at a track like this where these guys are running 3 wide a lot. The cars are really comfortable to do it. They're making it happen. Frankie Barroso on the outside here. Dylan Bates, oh man, hits the wall there. Kenny Reel really leaning on the outside there of Dylan Bates. Not sure what that's all about. These guys got to get it together, though. You don't want to see that becoming a much bigger issue. A lot of these guys, what they'll do is, look at this. Kenny's just coming up right here. Got to be careful. Milleran's right there as well. This will absolutely be a caution if they don't figure this out, because, man, they are just all over the place. sending it way too hard right now. Long race still to go. Looks like they might figure it out for now. Miller on the outside lane there up against Kenny Reel. Three wide now for Michael Johnson. A couple of guys here too, now that we're watching him. I'll tell you what, these guys have what it takes, kind of going back to that conversation. Andrew Phipps, Michael Johnson, man, these guys are crazy fast. And Johnson, last season, you'll remember, I mean, Michael Johnson had a bunch of issues with his PC, didn't quite have the best rig, but now he does. So, a lot can happen for that man right there. Crawford looking back real quick. Looking pretty tight on the outside lane. Was about 3 wide for a second, but now he's back to 2. Really fast stuff. John Hagan up front right now. Tim Robb not too far back in P2. Yellow flag goes out. Who's this? Matthew Ponce. Looks like goes around. Seems to be a 1-car incident here. Take a look at the damage. Left side, yeah, pretty well banged up, obviously. Got around right there. Was running, I believe, kind of in the 20th-ish spot. Yeah, seems to be a 1-car incident. We'll go back once more and take a peek at it. Already around right there, so we'll go back a little further. Oh, wow, this happens a long ways away. Okay, so we'll play it out real quick. So, looks like, oh, what the hell? Okay. That might be the craziest netcode I've ever seen. I'm not even sure. Oh, Christian. Okay, that makes a lot more sense now. There it is. Yeah, so Christian disappears and gets up into. Yeah, see, he's gone from that replay cam. So that's what it was. Unfortunately, looks like Christian Angel blinked out there for a second in the worst possible time, and then while he was playing Casper, he bumped the 1-car. So, man, wild stuff right there. You don't expect that sometimes, but hey, sometimes these cautions can be pretty wacky, and that one was definitely a wild one. So, a lot of these guys coming down pit road. Ponce's car should be pretty well repairable, I think. I don't think I see a lot on there. The left side's pretty well banged up, but overall not too bad. Christian looks like he is back. So connection looks like did reestablish, but man, he blinked out at the worst possible time. And from my knowledge, he's not really been one to do that. You know, sometimes that just kind of happens. That's the fun part about virtual internet racing, is that it can happen to anybody at any time. You know, same thing why, hey, you know, us right here, sometimes we'll lose frames for no reason, it seems like. And maybe even right now, actually, as I see our frames are kind of acting a little funky. So sometimes just unexplainable things. So it can happen. But it is all good. Lap 102, Necula up front. Josh Larson taking the gamble here. Villalobos, Hagen. Oh-wee. Gonna get exciting. We're gonna step aside real quick, folks, and thank a quick sponsor or two, and then we'll come right back.
Fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Doggy bowl empty, Lakers pool sleeping. Rug pull, cash grab, NFTs delight. Rug pull, cash grab, idiot.
Alrighty, welcome back to race day for the Harpoon Design 240. Hey, I'll tell you what, go and get yourself a paint right now. iRacing paint, next gen, Xfinity, Truck Series, all kinds of paints right there. HarpoonDesign.com. Also, too, quick plug, go and check out ASRA Brand new website was just made for the series. Pretty cool stuff there, as well as if you go to, it should be in the description, but if not, I'll tell you anyway. Fourthwall.com/race day, I believe, is our brand new merch shop. Cool hats there for race day and some ASRA t-shirts and some other stuff. So some cool stuff. We'll kind of talk more about that as the season goes on and as our next broadcast happen. But here we go. Lap 103. Sun's really going down now. Nighttime conditions are going to be kicking in. Left for that pace car. Here we go. Green flag back out. Big stacker for the low line right there. Tim Robb might have gotten some damage on the inside of Michael Johnson, but we're going back green either way. 3 and 4 wide here almost we saw. Kevin King struggling on the inside. 3 wide though in the front. A couple of guys here didn't take tires. Larson, Necula. Bunch of guys trying to do what they can. Oh, yellow flag out again. Belief in the back. Andrew Phipps once more. Don't see any. Okay, right front damage there. Looks like a little bit. Oh, yeah, that tire, I think, as well. The right front is skewed in a little bit. Can't quite tell. Yeah, just a tad. Man, more tough brakes for Andrew Phipps. I mean, this is, man, I just hate to see it. Fast guy kind of gets involved in that. Although last week in Motegi, I believe it was, he spun himself out in turn 3. See if we can find out what happens here. So Andrew Phipps. Oh man, does he lose it on his own again? He might have. Harris kind of squeezes by there. Good stuff. See if I can pull back just a little bit more. So he's by himself right here. Oh, yeah. Just lost it. Held the brakes. Good man. Nobody else got involved either. So good stuff right there. So, man, unfortunately, I mean, back-to-back weeks of, Phipps kind of doing the same thing, more or less, just kind of looping it around and couldn't handle it last week on entry, this time on exit. So shouldn't be a ton of damage. We'll definitely be able to continue, but not a fun job there for Andrew Phipps. Has some inner demons to work out, but definitely a fast guy who can make it happen. Absolutely. John Hagan, though, up front. Max Brady in P2. Necula 3rd. Nick Light's 4th. Josh Larson 5th. A bunch of guys right now looking to get themselves into the playoffs, obviously. Hagan has that number 1 spot. Can he go back to back? I'll tell you what, this is, I talked about, last person I said this about was Smirker, I believe it was, a couple of seasons ago. I'm like, man, once he gets that win, the floodgates are going to be open, and I said that about Smirker. And then I think he won like the next 2 out of the, or 3 out of the next like last 5 races or something. He just went off. And I think Hagan's kind of going to be in that territory, right? Where, man, get that first win out of the way, like he did last week. And then, what can he do? Can he go back to back? Can he go, next 2 for 3, whatever it is? And either way, looking very impressive thus far. So far, good stuff. Bunch of guys looking very, very good right now. A couple of notables real quick just to look through. Brandon Bowie up to P13 right now, so has had quite a long race to kind of get himself back to the front. Homestead winner. Getting, just back up there to the front. Villalobos, Daryl Young looking pretty good. All in the top 15. A couple of notables. Mark Whitley in 24th spot right now. Started in the back, obviously, with the nullified qualifying lap, but looks like he's kind of just mired back. Hasn't really been able to. He's seen the front, you know, but hasn't really been able to stay there. So obviously, different strategies going on right now, and all kinds of things. So that can happen. Smecker kind of mired in the back here, but again, the Kansas winner has that win in the back pocket, so already locked into those playoffs. So that's kind of the nice thing too, right? When you have that win early in the season, you can kind of just make things happen. You can kind of, you know, try different things and different setups and stuff. So not a bad move there by them. Andrew Phipps back on track. Going to come back around here, so not too bad. Dohar going to come down pit road here. Maybe top off on fuel. Could be a smart move there, potentially. We will see. Either way, though, lap 108. Going to be 109 here in just a second. Going to go back green flag racing. Man, what a great race so far. A couple of cautions, really. I mean, 4 cautions so far, but they've been minimal. You know, a couple of mistakes here and there, you know, get loose or one, you know, spin off a pit road. But overall, really, really good race thus far. Here we go, though. Green flag, Hagan and Brady out front. Green flag is out. Outside line did not get a great jump. Max Brady kind of missed it just a little bit. Hagan going to get that better jump. Kevin King not wasting time. 3 wide in the middle. Four wide there for a second. Man, that's what fresh tires can do for you. As Nick Lights just got swallowed up there. Kevin King really looking good in that 66 right now. Again, subbing in for Brandon 6 is that Kevin King. Josh Larson making things work on the outside lane too. These guys are not wasting any time. Lap 110. And we are 3 and almost 4 wide at times. Tell you what, if I'm one of these drivers, I really like the outside line here. It just seems like they're getting a better exit. And we're going to watch this action real quick just because, man, these guys are really putting in the time. And here's Millerin and Larson. These guys have some history from last week at Motegi. Looks like they're going to calm it down there a bit. Man, 3 wide comfortably too. Dylan Bates looking really good on the outside line. Gonna move down middle here. Nick holding his own too. Oh, Johnson. Gonna be a Nick Light sandwich here. Johnson came up a little bit. All of them hold on to it, but hey, aggressive driving, man. 3, oh, Michael Johnson again comes up a little high. Gotta be careful there on the exits of the corners. Good stuff, though. Wow. Devin Smecker up to P22 on those fresh tires, looking really good right there. Getting his way back up to the front. A lot of these guys really looking pretty sharp right now. Brandon Bowie gonna push Blaze Crawford here for a minute. Kind of working that middle lane. Crawford kind of moves up there. Noticing a lot of these guys are kind of moving up on the exit of the corners. Not seeing as many, you know, tight entrances than we do on the inside, but Man, good stuff so far. Bowie going to try and stay low here to Millerin. Really impressive. Hagen up front, Brady, Kevin King third. Necula still holding on to that fourth spot, but right now, Dylan Bates going to try and make a move here as well. Well, as Nick Light's doing a great job following suit with Dylan Bates. A couple of guys really doing quite well right now. We're seeing Kenny Reel holding on to P10 right here. Zoom in real quick. Man, he's rocking the old school windshield contingency pack from ages ago. Season 5. Didn't know we're having a throwback race right now, but it can happen. Brandon Bowie up front right there, getting to the front on the high line. Daryl Young doing pretty good too. 14th spot right here for him on the high lane. 88th there, Fleming in the middle. Frankie Broso as well, kind of mired back. So a bunch of these fast guys kind of finding themselves in the middle. I mean, we're seeing Frankie right here. I mean, Mark Whitley not too far back either. Tim Robb, who was in the front quite a bit earlier on. Oh, yellow flag. This Millerin. Oh, my word. Frankie Broso goes around. Holy crap. Big wreck right here on lap 118. I believe that was involving, yeah, Frankie. Millerin, I believe it was as well. That was wild. Wild ride there. See if we can find out what happened here. That was crazy. I think it was involving maybe Miller and Kaufman, I believe, maybe. Let's take a look. So Kaufman, try and get a better angle here. Chopper view potentially. Here we go. Oh, so Millerin's already off. Comes back on track. Looks like Whitley avoids it by going down below the apron. Oh, man. Frankie just goes around some airtime. Let's see if we can find out what happens to Millerin. That's crazy. Okay, here he is right here. But does he lose it by himself or does he get some help? Like what goes on here? Up against the 54. Oh, Bowie makes contact with him. And then, yeah, just has nowhere to really go. So let's try and get a better angle of that contact here. Gonna see Frankie. Watch this. Up and around here for Frankie. Man, that is not a fun time. I can promise you. I want to go back real quick and take a look at the angle from Brandon Bowie and see what kind of went down there, because that was pretty crazy. I want to get a better angle here. Maybe this one will do it for us. I'm not sure if Bowie kind of just sends it in or if Miller and maybe, you know, got wiggly there or something, but I'm sure this might tell us what happens, but it happens right here. So yeah, Bowie kind of, yeah, I mean, yeah, just nothing really much to say. Bowie kind of goes down low. It looks like he kind of thought about going 3 wide there, but just didn't do it. So, unfortunately got into Millerin, Frankie, and Kaufman. So big wreck here for our 5th caution for incident. A couple of guys coming down pit road, obviously. Dohar, Sobel, Barroso, most likely out of the race, unfortunately, with that. And man, he did not need that kind of performance today. Not good. Millerin, then Andrew Phipps as well, still on pit road. So Not too bad. Lap 120, though. 40 laps to go, which tells me that even if these guys wanted to pit now, they still have to pit once more for fuel. So we're still needing that one green flag pit stop, or maybe pit stop in general. But this race is kind of reversed of what we saw, before. Typically, you see the stages, stage 1 and 2, really showcasing the urgency, right, as far as like aggression and things like that, right? Typically we see the most cautions during the stages, but right here, we're kind of getting it kind of spread out for the most part in stage 3. So yeah, I mean, sometimes you just never know how these races can unfold. But so far, though, a good race, great racing when we've had it. But hey, I mean, 40 plus drivers on the track, I expect to have a couple of cautions. But we're going to go back green here, lap 122. So about 38 laps to go here before we go back and wrap this thing up. Hagan and Brady on the front row. Keep in mind, we mentioned it earlier on, this is the first race of the same state showdown, which is pretty cool. So a little in-season kind of tournament we do. Back-to-back tracks in the same state. So today's Chicagoland, next week's Chicago Street at the road course. Going to be a lot of fun. So basically, it just works as though it's like a little mini 2-race championship. We accumulate the points that they all earned for these 2 races, put them together, and the winner is the same state showdown champion, and they get some money as well as a berth into the all-star race. So cool stuff. Kind of spices up the racing a little more. Bit of a narrative, but here we go. Pace car going to go left. Hagan and Brady up front. Let's get this thing back underway right here. Good move. Man, Kevin King does not waste any time there on the outside to try and get around Hagan. Good stuff. Already nighttime is here. The lights are on. Max Brady as well, trying to get to the front. And again, this is the best time to do this, right? You got to get to the front, get that track position. These guys are really putting on one hell of a show right now in the front of this race. Kevin King might have the advantage here on the outside lane. Yes, he does. Clears John Hagan. Impressive stuff. Oh man, Hagan had a bit of an issue right there. Brady going to get around him, as well as Blaze Crawford. And then we're seeing 3 wide right behind Johnson, Dylan Bates. Marshall Harrison, P8 right now. Holy. Everyone fighting to get to the front. Whitley as well, Scott Casorn. Man, you can just tell the aggression level has just kicked up so much. Further on back, we're seeing these guys as well. Brandon Bowie seemingly got the EOL there for the cause caution. Which for him, you know what? Hey, okay, take the EOL, come down and get the fresh tires, which I'm guessing he did. And he is flying through this field. Oh, yellow flag is out again. Oh, no, Medina. I believe that was Medina who I saw. Yes, it was. Goes around. He collected somebody else too, I think. Oh, yeah, Tim Robb right here as well. So 6th caution. Man, great job there by a lot of those guys to avoid Medina, because he was right in the middle of the track, and we were watching Bowie and all the guys around there at the time. Man, that was close. That was really close. Try and find out what happens to Medina here. Oh, man, close stuff. So 3 wide here between Whitley and Thomas George. Oh, it's okay. So gonna get net coded here from Smecker. You saw that gap between the cars of the 26 and the 9 right there. So definitely some net code. 26 was probably going to hit him anyway, based on the angle he was coming at. But yeah, a couple of guys get hit here. Yeah, Tim Robb, man, gets sliced right there. But I think for the most part that, oh, Dohar as well at the end of it got some contact. Tim Robb though too got the worst of it, I think, from that. So tough break right there. But again, 3 wide racing, the majority of this race, these are gonna happen. But crazy stuff on lap 127. So this is kind of that. This is tough. Right now, lap 127, you can almost make it on fuel from here. But again, you definitely couldn't if we get, you know, green, white checkers or, you know, things like that. So a little bit too close to call right now. Either way, though, Kevin King up front, Michael Johnson in P2. Harrison 3rd spot, Whitley 4th. Kenny Reel in P5. So kind of a split call here by the field. A lot of guys pit, a lot of guys stayed out. Tim Robb, unfortunately, involved in this, not going to have a finish like he wanted. But I'll tell you what, his season's gone really well so far. So to have a bad race right now is not the end of the world, but still looking pretty sharp. So yeah, big thanks to you folks for being here on a Tuesday night here for ASRA Harpoon Design Cup Series at Chicagoland. This place has always been a lot of fun, and it's a shame they don't go here anymore in the real world, but either way, a lot of fun this race has been. Gonna go back green about lap 130, so a lot of the leaders here, pretty much everybody in the top 10, if not more than that, has to come down pit road at least once. No, once for sure, excuse me, for fuel. So that'll happen. It's just a matter of when for these guys. So we will see. Either way, though, been a great race and a good kickoff to our same state showdown. A couple of notables. Again, Dohar got involved in that. Actually, I don't see any damage there, really. So sometimes what happens, and we've seen it this season already, is they get, you know, drivers get involved in a wreck, but they kind of like net code through it. But it's a net code in a good way, where they don't get any damage. Like they hit a driver or a car, but they don't actually get any of the damage. So looks like that might be the case here for Dohar. So good move for them. One to go. There are our partners for race day. Huge thanks to all of them. Again, Harpoon Design, Hosky, Cardano, a lot of fantastic people. So starting to wind this race down. Kevin King in the front. Marshall Harris going to be starting in P2. Man, what a run he has had lately. Motegi last week for Harris. You know, finishing position wise didn't work out for him, but I feel like he learned something, you know, when he was leading on a restart, kind of held his line, you know, did really well. You know, got passed right, left and right, but I mean, really did a good job, you know, and you can really only learn by putting yourself in that situation. So impressive stuff for Harris. We'll see how he can compete against Kevin King. Laying back quite a bit. Mark Whitley going to give him a little bump saying, hey, bro, catch up. But here we go. 30 laps to go here at the line. A lot can happen still. Man, Marshall Harris just did not get a great restart. Was not even at the line side by side with Kevin King. Here we go, though. Green flag. Look at the middle, though. 3 wide. Nick Lights on the outside lane trying to hold on to it, as well as Hagen. And Hagen now finding himself kind of mired back into the pack a little bit in 12th spot. Oh, boy. Nick Lights thought about 4 wide. Hagen going to be in the grass here a little bit. Held on to it, man. What a great job right there to not loop that car. Man, really good stuff right here by these boys to hold on to it. Again, aggressive driving. We knew it was going to happen. Kevin King makes it work, though. Michael Johnson, Mark Whitley. Good stuff right here. Three wide, looks like, in the back of the field here. Josh Larson holding on to a top 15 if he can. We're seeing a lot of these guys, though, have competing ideas. A lot of guys have fresh tires right now. Look at this. Daryl Young in the front. Mark Whitley as well. Right now, it's old tires versus new tires. A lot of these guys, though, probably don't have any sets left, so they're going to hope that this thing stays green. If it stays green, this is a cakewalk for people like Whitley, for, you know, Daryl Young, the guys who have just taken fuel right there at that caution. This works out in their favor, but right now, P1 up for grabs. Whitley and King going to duel it out here on lap 134. Awesome stuff. We're seeing it right here. Kevin King, he knows how to get the job done. But definitely has to come down pit road. So the way this race has gone so far, stage 3 at least, can most likely expect a caution based on kind of probability here. But a couple more guys looking to get their wins too. Michael Johnson, man, a win today would be huge for him. Daryl Young, the same thing. Kenny Reel. Marshall Harris holding on to P6 right now. A lot of these guys really trying to look to get career best finishes. And look at this, back in the field. Top 10 actually for a lot of these boys. Nekula holding on, your stage 2 winner. Still getting the job done here. Really impressive job by a lot of these guys to hold on to their spot. Everyone doing really well. 25 laps to go right now for the Harpoon Design 240. About to wrap this thing up right here. Daryl Young has made his way to 3rd spot. Hey, fresh tires can be huge. And this is one of those moments, right? I think, here we go, look at this, P1. A change here for the lead. Whitley and Kevin King. Whitley really, really close. Daryl Young going to try and make a move here. And this is the thing, right? Fresh tires. Whitley not going to use up as much. I think Kevin, though, has the preferred lane. The outside, he can really get a great exit. And we've seen this 77 and 66 fight together like this quite a bit in the past. But this time, a different driver in that 66 machine. Kevin King. Gonna get past here. Mark Whitley clears him. I think he does. There he goes. So Mark Whitley gets around Daryl Young right behind him as well. But again, I feel like this strategy only works if we stay green for Whitley and Daryl Young. Maybe even Michael Johnson too, because these guys, I think, they do not want to see a caution. I can promise you that. If this thing stays green, I think this is an easy win here for Whitley. In the top 3 for Daryl Young. But man, these guys are just not going to waste any time here. Good stuff. Kevin King could not hold on to it right there. Daryl Young going to be in P2. And Daryl has the freshest tires, it looks like. He is right there alongside his teammate Whitley. I think Daryl's got something for Whitley right here. He's right there on the back end. He's got nothing to lose. Man, super impressive stuff at the end of this race. 20 laps to go. And a handful of guys who still have to pit, keep in mind. So this is not over yet, folks. A lot can change here. One yellow flag, one green flag pit stop. Roll the dice and see what happens. A little further on back, we're seeing Kenny Reel holding on to that 5th spot. Kevin King comes down pit road, actually locks him up quite a bit. Not sure if he got down to that window, but hey, not a bad move to come down pit road now before you lose too much time. Keep yourself on that lead lap. Michael Johnson, the same thing. So do you take 2 tires here? 2 tires, left sides, right sides. Looks like right side's right here. Yes, he is. There he goes. 2-tire pit stop for Kevin King. Mark Whitley, Daryl Young up front. P1 and 2. A couple of more guys coming down pit road. Nicula as well. Tim Robb, Millerin still on the track right there on pit road. But good stuff. 18 laps to go. Whitley and Daryl Young up front. But like I said, if a caution comes out, I think they're sitting ducks because they're going to have older tires compared to the guys who don't need them anymore. So we will see. Blaze Crawford, P4 right here. Brady, Nick Lights, all doing a fantastic job. Sobel, look at this for Sobel. A P7 so far, and it's been a long time coming, I think, for Sobel. You know, finally kind of up front, doing a great job here late in this race. Hagan in 8th spot right now. Dylan Bates. Man, Thomas Meeks earlier was a lap down, or just about a lap down at the end of stage 2, I believe it was. Got the lucky dog. And then right now is maintained almost a top 10. So, man, really impressive stuff. Scott Casorn and Dylan Bates really going for it here for that top 10. Fleming not too far back either in the 88. Good stuff. And do we see some more aggression? What do we see here at the end of this race? A lot of these guys still 2 wide, 3 wide at times. But for the most part, doing really, really good. Daryl Young fading back a little bit, used up some of his stuff. And holding on to that 2nd spot by about 3 seconds. So again, these guys need this race to stay green. Kenny Reel, Crawford, Brady. And keep in mind too, Kevin King, Michael Johnson, they came early. So there's still guys in this top 10, I would say, who still have to pit for fuel. I believe Kenny Reel might be one of them, as well as maybe Brady and Crawford. But we will see as this race dwindles down. Fuel saving going to be a big concern here. A couple of flagship motorsport guys, Meeks and Fleming right here, trying to get this thing down. But man, good stuff. Impressive run so far by a lot of these guys right here. 13 laps to go for the Harpoon Design 240 here in Chicago. And right now, Whitley, Mark Whitley, holding on to that top spot in P1. Would be a huge win for him if he can get the job done today. Would also be our 5th different winner of this season. And did he make the strategy right? I think I like it. It's an offensive strategy, right? You come down pit road, you take the gas, take the fuel. This is a great, great move. But it only works, I think, if there's no caution. So we will see. Hopefully this thing stays green for Whitley and for Daryl Young. Kenny Reel, P3 as well. A lot of great runs for these guys, Reel and Daryl Young. I'll tell you what, they will take a top 3 any day of the week. Very impressive run for those boys. Stage 1 winner John Hagan up to P6 right now. Kind of working his way back to the front. Dylan Bates, a great run again. Matthew Fleming, a top 10. Meeks as well, 11th. A couple of spots back to your pole sitter, Joseph Milley in 13th spot. Not a bad run Honestly, had some stage points earlier on, so pretty good finish. Tyler Dohar up to P15. Really good run after getting those fresh tires. Was involved in that wreck, but didn't have any damage, oddly enough, but here he is, putting together a pretty decent run thus far. Larson and Emery back right here. Really good run here for Emery. He's a kind of guy that doesn't really, always have the best finishes and struggles in qualifying, but really, really impressive run here for Emery in that 20 machine. As I believe I just saw Daryl Young come down pit road. Looks like for fuel here, take a look. Might be a fuel-only stop, I would assume. Looks like it is, yeah. So he comes down pit road. That leaves me worried for Mark Whitley, which here he comes down pit road now. I was about to say, if Daryl's coming down, Mark definitely has to come down. That's going to give up that lead for Whitley. Unfortunate. Kenny Reel, though, you are next in line, my friend. Can Kenny Reel hold on to this to maybe break out for his first win of his career? No, sir, he cannot. Kenny Reel going to come down pit road. That means Blaze Crawford's next in line here with 7 laps to go. Traffic, heavy traffic up front, though. So the top 5 really had to come down pit road. So what does this mean, though, for Blaze Crawford, Max Brady? Max Brady has yet to win in this series. And we know how fast he is, but can Blaze Crawford get the job done here with now 6 laps to go here in Chicagoland? Who played the strategy right with 6 laps to go? Do you have enough fuel? Do you have the tires to make it happen? Blaze Crawford, and we've mentioned Blaze quite a bit this season, but he's had kind of a quiet season. He's been really fast, as he always is, but just hasn't really kind of been in that top 5 picture or really in the picture to win these races. But man, right now, he is quiet no longer. He is leading this race with 5 laps to go here. His teammate Max Brady right behind him, trying to go for his first win of his career. John Hagan, stage 1 winner right there as well. Last week's winner. Don't forget about Nick Lights and Joseph Mealy holding on very strong for Murphy Esports. Then Tyler Dohar. Look at this run here for Dohar. Oh, look at the field here. Smerker and Fleming leaned on each other out of turn 4. Man, they made it work, though. Stuck it right in there. Really good stuff here. Smerker kind of giving it his all right here. Might go 3 wide here against Dylan Bates. Makes it work. And here we go. The top 3 are now in a line. Blaze Crawford has to sneak his way out. Max Brady is right there as well. With 3 laps to go, I'm going to assume these guys can make it on field because, man, it is just so close. Julio Villalobos coming down pit road. He'll give up a top 15 spot. Man, look at these runs right here. Jacob Emery in P7 is unbelievable. If you can hold on for a top 10 right here, this is an absolute career day for Jacob Emery. Thomas Meeks holding on to a top 10 potentially here too. What a good job, but the lead still remains Blaze Crawford. Looks like this might end up being one of those races where it just kind of flips on a dime. A lot of these guys can change strategies, and it just, the way the race kind of comes about, things just change. You got to play the strat right. You got to play different things right. And here we go. The white flag is out here for Blaze Crawford. Looks like he made the strategy call right. The fuel looks like it's going to hold on for him. And man, what a quiet season so far. Has had great runs. But Blaze Crawford, a couple more corners to go. Here he is. Blaze Crawford with the first win of the season. Harpoon Design 240 winner, Blaze Crawford. Unbelievable job here to get the job done. Unbelievable. Blaze Crawford in that Texas OEM wheels machine. It gets the job done, holds on with that strategy. What an impressive effort for Blaze Crawford. Max Brady in P2, his teammate. Another P2 for Max Brady, man. I'll tell you what, that win's coming. He is so fast. And John Hagen in third spot. So last week's winner gets the job done today almost in P3. Fourth place, Tyler Dohar. Finally, a fantastic finish for him. But Blaze Crawford, he's the winner today. What an awesome job here for Blaze to get the job done. Wrapping up the top 10, Nick Lights, P5. Joseph Mealy, 6th. Anderson, 7th. Sprecher, P8. Thomas Meeks, 9. And Thomas George, P10. Great job right there. Man, awesome, awesome stuff. Teammate's going to try and burn him out after a 1-2 finish. Man, what a great job of these two boys. So, good stuff. We'll step away for a second, folks. We'll go and thank some sponsors. We'll come back and talk to your top 3. Stick around.
Fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Doggy bowl empty, Lakers pool sleeping, rug pull, cash grab, NFTs delight, rug pull, cash grab, idiot.
All right, folks, we are back for the conclusion of the Harpoon Design 240 here at Chicagoland. We're going to come in and talk to John Hagen. Top 3 finish for him. What a fantastic job for Hagen here to get this thing done. Let's bring him in. Here he is, John Hagen, stage 1 winner. Sorry we couldn't talk to you back then, but hey, man, awesome job today. You won last week for your first time, and hey, you came back here with the top 3 today. Really pretty good job, man, on a hot streak. How'd the race go for you?
It was definitely interesting for sure. The setup is really tight, and I like really tight setups. So I was figuring out what worked, what didn't on entry and everything, and screwing around really. And then I realized pretty quickly I was doing something wrong when I think it was the 6 came up and ran me down. So it was just a learning moment, stage 1.
Yes, sir. Hey, not too bad, though. I mean, race went by pretty well, and a lot of different things definitely happened, but obviously very fast once more, so great stuff, man. Hey, give us a shout-out real quick to your, sponsors. I don't know, friends, family, whoever you got.
I'm going to shout out OU Esports once again. Proud to be a part of them. Shout out painter John Smith, my other painter, Jacob Schengle. They're awesome. Shout out Matthew Kent coming over here, filling in a role where we needed him. Shout out you, Steve, for putting on the broadcast in this league, and we'll do better than second next week.
Hey, no problem, man. Hey, good stuff today. We'll catch you next week, man. Street course.
Thank you.
All right, there he is. John Hagen, P3. Fantastic job. Next up, we're going to bring in Max Brady, who is always a character. Let's bring him in real quick. Here he is, Max Brady. Hey, once again, the bridesmaid, man, but looking very good. P2, nothing to be ashamed about. That win's coming for sure. But hey, how'd the race go for you? Looks like the strategy kind of was a lot different for a lot of these guys in the front, but how'd you guys kind of figure out that this was the right one to make?
Yeah, well, I just want to say it's showing me third, but me and John tied. We were in a two-way tie for second, so I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I the beginning of the race I didn't really didn't have much practice. So I came in, kind of messed up my qualifying lap, which I'm really accustomed to at this point. I don't know how to qualify any race car. So we were in the back. I spent the first stage and a half learning the track, and then I started to get it figured out. I was trying to just trying to save tire better, right front tire better than a lot of people because I kept burning them up a lot. But then we had a couple cautions, and I took two tires one stop, and that got me my track position. And then Blaze took forward, and he just got a track position by driving up there. And then we knew that we could do one stop, and I think everybody else did two, except for a couple people. So we just did that, and then with like 15 laps left, I was like, well, if we don't have a caution here, I think me and Blaze were good to the end. So we didn't get one, and first and tied for second. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, good stuff. But yeah, our system here, the our scoring system says P2 for you. So we'll probably gonna go with that. So P2, man, great stuff.
Nice.
Give us your shout out real quick for your I don't know, sponsors, friends, family. What you got for us?
Yeah. So shout out to Blaze Crawford on the spotter stand as always. Flagship Modas, best team in this series. Shout out San Antonio Karting Complex. Texas OEM Wheels, great wheels. ASRA and Wheels America. Shout out them too. Great sponsors I got on this number 5 flag motor machine.
Yeah, yes, sir, man. Hey, good job. Next week, Chicago Street Course. Going to be a lot of fun, I'm sure. What are your thoughts on that, real quick, about the street course racing?
I have to buy the track, so not the biggest fan of road courses, so I'm probably not gonna like the street course because those are usually a lot more difficult than the road course. So
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel. Maybe I think the goal of that race will just to be not hit the wall and not hit cars, and I can probably scam away a top 15, top 10 maybe.
There we go. Love that, man. Hey, good stuff. We'll catch you next time.
Thank you.
There he is. Max Brady, good stuff today, man. But hey, right now we're going to bring in Blaze Crawford, the winner of today's race, the Harpoon Design 240. Let's get him in here real quick. Here he is. Blaze Crawford got the job done. Just talked to your teammate there, Max Brady, who came in second. Man, you guys did a really good job. Talked about your strategy and really made it work there at the end and kind of figured it out. Chose the right call, and you win the race, man. So good job. First win of the season. And looking pretty good. How you feel, dude?
Yeah, man, it's probably the best race all season for me for sure. Other than qualifying, hit the wall again. I got to figure out how to drive this thing qualifying. That's my only kryptonite, man. But 32nd to first, drove up there so many times, made a couple bad strategy calls mid race, but I was just so fast on the long run after about honestly the whole time. For some reason I figured something out that just saved right front, but I was just rolling, just driving by anyone I wanted to. So that's a great feeling to have, you know. I've been kind of waiting for that kind of race all season for myself because, you know, that's my expectation going out every week, you know. But man, at the end, I felt like it was the best call, to where like I looked at the lap count left and I was like, man, I think we can make it. And the Texas OEM wheel car, man, it had about 100 feet of fuel left after the line, so we saved just enough. But man, it was a perfect call, and I'm very glad my strategy finally worked for once.
Yeah, definitely an awesome run right there for sure. Now, I mean, and talk to us too, like the track itself. Like, was it? We saw great racing when we had obviously three wide a lot of the time, and it seems like every lane kind of had, you know, the ability to be used. I saw a lot of guys three wide comfortably. You know, aggression happens, but like, so like, talk to us about like the track conditions. Like, was it like, how was it out there for the fans?
Yeah, man. It was definitely probably the best handling setup we've had all season. I could kind of put it wherever I wanted. On the top, it was a little bit of a challenge in 3 and 4, which is how bumpy it is. Bottom of this car is cooked, so I'm gonna have to go over to Flem Dog's Auto Repair, man, get this thing fixed, man. But other than that, man, I could put it anywhere, like you said. Moved around a lot, outside, inside. It didn't matter where I went. I could pass cars. So having multiple options of where to go really makes for a really good race, and really something that I think kind of falls into my strong suit for sure.
Yes, sir, man. Good stuff. Next week, Chicago Street Course Racing should be a lot of fun. The second half of our same state showdown, so should be pretty interesting right there. But if you can, talk to us about your thoughts on that race, and then hey, give us your shout outs, man. Sponsors, friends, and family. What you got for us?
Yeah, man, for sure. First, I'll start with the sponsors, man. Can't thank the Flem Dogs Norse Motors, powered by Max Brady. Happy birthday, Max Brady! Race car tonight. That thing was flying. Yeah, happy birthday, Max Brady. 59, 100 years old. I don't know how old he is, but he's becoming an old man. So, thank you to my family for watching. My girlfriend, my mom, my dad, siblings. Man, appreciate them. They come out and support. They in that virtual grandstand every week, man. So. But going to Chicago Street Course, man. I was there for eNASCAR's live event there, working. So, I got a taste of the actual track in real life. I think I'm gonna go out there and just back up this performance, maybe go back to back. Working on my road course skills. So this Flem Dogs Aura Bear Wheels America car is going to be flying. So look out for us. Flem Dog Motors on top, Flag Motors for the win. And we will be back next week, brother.
Love that, man. Hey, good stuff today. Good win. You're in the playoffs, obviously, now, so good stuff, dude. We'll catch you next week, man. Go and celebrate.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate the broadcast, too. Race control is awesome. I'm out.
Yes, sir. Good stuff. Blaze Crawford, your winner today for the Harpoon Design 240. Man, what a great race. Good to see that everyone approves and likes the setups and the race control. It's like an ideal night. So good stuff right there. A couple of cautions throughout the night, but overall, that can be expected when you've got 40 plus drivers on the field, as well as a lot of ambition trying to get to the front. So all good. Either way, great race today. Huge shout out to you guys, folks, for watching online. Hit the like button, subscribe button to support us. We're getting closer to 1,000 subs, so pretty cool right there. Visit us on iRacing.com for the website, as well as Fourth Wall. You can find us on there for some cool merch opportunities. And hey, we'll catch you guys next week. Chicago Street Course is next week. Going to be a lot of fun. Tomorrow, there's no IMSA experience. We're in the off week, so you won't see that tomorrow. And then the Nora Truck Series on Mondays is not back for another 3 weeks, since they follow the actual Truck Series schedule. So we'll come back to that in a few weeks, but next week, you'll see us on Tuesday night, once again, at 9 p.m. Eastern Time for the Chicago Street Course. So good stuff. Have a good night, folks. Blaze Crawford, your winner. Have a good night. Enjoy your week. Bye-bye.